there, and welcome to the Big Apple School podcast. My name is Sam.
And once again, here is Ken.
And today we're asking, what's the crack about?
Food.
Ken,
That was long.
we're going to look at what are our favorite foods, what we enjoy eating, of course, what kind of restaurants we might go to,
Yes.
our native countries, and because our listeners may not know what we enjoy, what people there enjoy to eating.
And maybe some dietary restrictions in our culture.
We will give some advice, even though we may not be the best people. I may not be the best person to give advice, but
Including
we'll give
myself.
some advice. So, how are you feeling? Are you sitting comfortably?
Well,
you
because
got a
the topic
coffee?
is food, I'm excited to talk about it. Although I don't
Ken,
necessarily, cook.
Ken, pause. I have coffee here.
So it gives you life.
Listeners there at home, this is amazing.
If only they could smell
the smell
your
of coffee. So we're probably gonna, although it's about food, we're probably gonna mention coffee, Ken.
I can already
'Cause you know me. You know me,
pumped
right?
up.
Do you know that I love coffee? Have I told you this enough?
I know.
So you're sitting comfortably. I have a coffee at least, even if you don't. I'm sorry. I won't share.
I know.
Ken, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you eat?
Absolutely, of course. Everybody eats.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Me too. But do you know
I'm
what?
surprised.
Do you know what?
What?
100% of people that eat die.
Everybody who eats
And
dies.
everyone who drinks water dies.
Of course.
This proves that it's unhealthy.
No. It's the only way to survive.
Maybe the logic there isn't quite right.
I'm sure the listeners will disagree.
You do eat.
I do.
And I eat. So we are perfect for this podcast, Ken. Honestly.
Anyone who eats.
What is a good meal in your view?
Well, I think, something that's nutritious, definitely. But from time to time, I also eat something that's unhealthy. That will include, of course, the first set of meal.
Yeah.
Starters, of course, the main course.
Wow, okay.
Dessert.
You're really getting into this. Okay.
Of course.
So you're talking about a sit-down meal in a restaurant.
Absolutely.
First course, a starter, and then a main course, and then you have a dessert, and then you have tea and coffee, yeah? That's a good meal.
I want to be full.
Right.
What about you?
Do you want to be uncomfortably full, or just you're satisfied full?
The second one, of course.
Well, yeah, I guess so. You remind me about, I went to an all-you-can-eat Chinese restaurant. Chinese restaurants are very popular in Northern Ireland, and oh man,
What?
I never felt so bad in my life. I went home.
Oh my God.
No, I wasn't sick or anything, but I went home and I had eaten so much that I didn't realize how much I was eating until suddenly it hit me.
Oh
this
my
feeling
God.
of being so uncomfortably full.
Was it spicy though?
No, maybe, but that wasn't an issue.
Nothing to do with
It wasn't.
the taste.
There wasn't any danger to a toilet here. It was simply that I was so full that I needed to vomit.
Oh my goodness.
But I know that this was an all-you-can-eat Chinese. I was with some friends who, at that time, I shared a house with these guys, and I got a little carried away, let's say.
All right.
And since that time, I didn't vomit. I was determined not to vomit, but I felt so bad for a couple of hours.
My goodness.
And I lay down and I dare not move, or I would have projectile vomited.
Oh my God, that's
But
gross.
I was, I didn't vomit, but I didn't vomit. And I will never eat too much. I mean, I will always be careful not to eat too much.
You have to
since
control
that time.
yourself.
Yeah.
But I do understand you. I would have done the same.
But so, for me, a good meal is when you are satisfied.
Yeah.
And also, I was taught in school. I'm gonna be try and be one up you here. I was taught in school that you have to have a square meal. Do you know what that? Have you heard of that phrase?
I've heard of it.
It includes vegetables and a starch, which might be rice, potatoes, or a pasta or something like that.
All right.
And meat. Now,
All right.
if you're a vegetarian, you can ignore that part, but maybe protein, I suppose you could say.
Sounds like a well-balanced meal.
And that's 4 corners. The final corner is sustenance, liquid sustenance, like water or, well, probably water is the best, of course.
Well, that's a Sounds like very healthy
not
to me.
an alcoholic thing. But so yeah, that was good teaching in school when I was only maybe 12, 13.
By the way, I just would like to add that in addition to, I mean, it's not just the food itself, but I would say that the atmosphere, who are you with while having this meal, it adds to the overall experience.
Do you think you digest better?
Yeah, of course. However, though, if I'm with my friends and we tend to, talk a lot, it can sometimes be a problem because it takes us a long time.
Okay.
Like a really long time.
But that's maybe not a bad thing because your digestive system's going.
Yeah.
And maybe
it takes time
the food's
to pause and
hitting into the acid in your stomach and it's being maybe it's working efficiently.
And it's always an enjoyable experience.
Right.
Now,
it sounds good. I'm going to pause you before you ask me. That sounds good. Yeah.
Absolutely.
A square meal with friends. Yeah.
Perfect atmosphere.
Okay, I'm ready.
Now, what are your favorite foods? Maybe fruit, vegetable.
Right.
We're gonna go down.
We want to kind of go into every category.
Right. One at a time.
So we want to think first of fruit.
Yes.
My favorite fruit, I will say, is orange. Oranges.
Oh.
But the only disadvantage to an orange is it can be wrapped up a little bit difficultly.
Yeah.
You can get your hands juicy and sticky when you're trying to get off the wrapper, if you like, the peel, the skin of the orange.
I love the smell.
I enjoy oranges, I must say. I also am a big fan, and recently I've been eating quite a lot of raisins. These dried grapes.
Of course. Oh my God, I hate them.
You hate raisins?
Yeah. Every time,
we can no longer be friends.
We can still be friends. Every time a salad has raisins, I try to remove
raisins in a salad.
Yeah. Well, in the Philippines, I don't know.
Right. Okay.
In the Philippines.
That's new for me. Maybe that's why you don't like them.
Regardless, it doesn't have to be a salad, but any kind of food that has raisins. Oh my God, I hate it.
Wow.
What's
your favorite fruit?
Well,
not raisins.
Definitely.
Anything but raisins.
Anything but raisins. Yeah. Definitely green mangoes. We have so many varieties of green mangoes in the Philippines. And mind you, we have, it depends on the size. We also have Carabao mango. It's huge.
Right. Wow.
And we have...
size of a football?
No.
Not rugby ball?
Wait.
Tennis ball?
Wait. I'm trying to imagine. Wait. Probably even bigger than a football.
Bigger than a football. Goodness me.
Yeah, that's why we call it Carabao. Carabao is, this kind of animal. Like a water
It's named after
buffalo.
An animal. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, well, I like it so much because it's there's a mixture of sweet and sour. And especially when it's ripe,
it's really selling this. Wow. I want to go and get one. Where can we get one?
In the Philippines. Go visit my country.
Right, everybody.
And you'll understand.
Payeli. Let's go. We're going to the Philippines.
Davai.
What's your favorite vegetable?
That'll have to be...
Oh, by the way, are you a vegetarian?
Nope.
We're not vegetarians.
I might consider it one day, but for now, I'm happy with meat.
Yeah.
However, my favorite vegetable is broccoli.
What?
Oh, don't tell me you don't like it.
I eat broccoli. I can't say that I love broccoli. I eat it. I don't hate it. I did when I was a boy. I probably I probably had too much broccoli, but I don't necessarily enjoy it. It looks like little trees, though. They look like miniature trees. I love beans.
Beans?
Oh, and with tomato sauce and without tomato sauce, and black beans and white beans and red beans, and the Mexican beans that you get in burritos and stuff. Oh man, all of those.
All right, I'm kind of okay with them.
And you know what is really strange? Brussels sprouts. They're amazing.
Okay. I don't know what to say to that.
I know. I mean, it's part of the traditional Christmas dinner in the UK, and most people hate them and probably wonder why they're part of the traditional dinner. But I'm like, I'm eating them. I'm eating them like mad, and I love them. And I don't know why, because I don't really like cabbage.
I just want to ask you though, do you think you'll ever be a vegetarian in the future? Can you imagine yourself being one?
That's a burning question for you. I once tried to be a vegetarian for 2 weeks.
And?
Just to experience what it would be like.
And how was it?
And I failed.
You failed miserably.
I went I went at the start of the week to a restaurant and managed to find one vegetarian meal, and that was great. And I mean, it was working. I got to almost 3 days, or maybe almost 4 days.
Oh.
And I accidentally, I unplanned, I decided to go to a fast food restaurant, Chinese in fact.
How did you end up there?
And I ordered what I normally order without thinking, because I was very distracted and very busy, and I completely forgot about the fact that I was trying to be vegetarian. And I ended up ordering sweet and sour chicken.
Oh my God.
And when I got home, I thought, oh, hang on. And I just spent £5 or so, maybe £6, and I thought, no, I'm gonna eat this. And I never tried again.
And you broke your...
I didn't do it. So I got 4 days. I think I could have done it if I had been just more mindful, more careful, and I could do it again, but
not now. Not in the nearest
future. No, it's not like I wouldn't or couldn't, but I'm just not. I don't think I need to. Basically,
at least not at the moment.
I don't feel the need to.
Wow. Yeah.
So, what's your favorite meat?
Meat. I would say beef and pork. I love bacon to death.
Love bacon?
Death.
Well, it could take you to death.
Although it's so ironic because I always tell other people that I love animals. I love pigs, by the way.
Right.
But it's...
You love pigs? You love pigs?
I mean, they're intelligent animals. They are. You can train them, in fact.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen some videos of pigs that, were trained and they do some interesting tricks.
I didn't know anybody who loved pigs. I mean, but that's okay.
Okay.
I love bats, so I guess it's not any stranger than that.
We had pigs in our village. When I was a child, I used to feed them.
Right.
It's so ironic because I was so fond of them, but at the same time, I look at them like, I wonder how you taste that.
Yeah. Oh, you're like, you love pigs in more than one way. Oh dear.
Yeah.
You love pigs, but you also love pigs.
Well, I also love eating them.
Oh dear.
I feel sorry for them. But anyway, I love pigs and I love pork.
Right.
What about you?
I am a big eater of chicken. I'm sorry to vegetarians who are listening to this. I'm a big eater of chicken, but I do enjoy a delicious steak when I go to a restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
But most of the time, chicken. And I do like spicy sausages that you get in Russia, kolbaski. You get them in a packet, 5 or 6, maybe more, and they're like a normal-ish looking frankfurter, like a long, thin sausage, but they're spicy.
By the way, how do you like to cook your chicken, though?
Well, generally, my wife and I will cut it into pieces, like chicken breast or chicken fillet. And we will cut it into pieces and maybe mix it with some spices and stuff, a little bit of oil, and cook it in the oven.
Sounds tasty.
Yeah, it's not. Well, that's what we mostly do, but I guess we could cook it in different ways too. Just pure roast.
Oh my God, roast chicken! That's my favorite. Yeah. Roast chicken.
It's very, very popular in the UK actually.
I go to heaven.
We'll talk a little bit more later, but roast chicken dinner or roast beef dinner every Sunday. It's like a tradition for at least most families in the UK.
Wow.
So with gravy, this salty
especially with
brown
gravy.
sauce.
Yeah, oh my God, you're making me hungry.
Yeah, sorry.
Haven't had any meal yet. Anyway, what about herbs and spices?
Herbs and spices.
Yeah.
Interesting that you choose that pronunciation, because in the UK we say...
You say herbs?
Herbs and spices.
That's interesting.
Does it sound weird to you?
No, but... Well, at least in the Philippines, we say herbs and spices. We don't pronounce the H.
Right. I know that Americans do that too.
Yeah. Because our English is more of American.
Right. You've got big American influence historically. Well, I talked with you about this earlier when
you've already
thyme,
right.
Thyme, chabarets or something in Russian. My pronunciation, I am so sorry. But herb, I like that. I like pepper, black pepper and red pepper.
All right.
I like to add that to my meal. Maybe a little bit too often, but I love to have spicy food, so I add a little bit. And what about you?
I would say just onions. I love munching onions.
But hang on, that's a vegetable.
I know, but
I guess it's kind of a garnish, isn't it?
But
okay, I'll let you away with that.
I'm not so much
Technicality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go over to desserts.
We can. Where are they? Where are the desserts?
Where are the desserts? I want one now.
We've talked. We've only really talked about what our favorite foods are so far, and we're salivating. We're salivating.
Oh my God,
salivating. I'm going to tell you what my two favorite desserts are very quickly. Custard with apple tart, or that's for Americans. That would be apple pie. Or what we call in the UK apple crumble, which is like a biscuity top on with stewed apples, apple pieces and sauce, with on top like a biscuit kind of on top of that. Or I love sticky toffee pudding, or something
that sounds delicious.
Something with cake and toffee, or chocolate, or toffee and chocolate, or anything of that sort. Which is deeply unhealthy, and I should be punished for even thinking about it.
But very tasty.
Very tasty. And if you're out having a meal, I mean, which not too often, when I go to a restaurant and have a meal and there's dessert, I will look for those.
I would say though that I'm not too crazy about desserts, but if I could have one, then I'd like to have a chocolate cake, and that's it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're a man of simple taste.
Yeah. I just want, for me, it's mostly the main course, which is meat.
Right.
Any kind of, beef dish, or as I've already said, pork. But for desserts, it doesn't even matter. Yeah. Any kind of maybe sweets.
Okay.
So that'll do for me.
You don't mind too much, but you like it to be a little sweet, and that's it.
Right. That's it.
Okay.
That'll make my day.
And a snack? Do you like savory or sweet? Salty. Savory, or sweet? Salty, yeah.
Salty.
So crisps, nuts?
Nuts, I would say crisps.
Yeah. I mean, well, as Americans would say chips. Would you say chips more often than crisps?
Yeah, but I'm used to saying that
You
now.
understand what I'm saying. I never thought. Yeah. So, I occasionally like crisps and occasionally like sweets. I try to limit how much I eat them, of course, because they're deeply unhealthy.
I used to eat them, oh my God, every night.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, but then, I know that they're unhealthy,
bad,
so I try to cut down on eating.
There is a lot
crisps.
of salt in crisps.
I still love them.
More than you should eat in one day, in one packet of crisps. I don't know how much more, but a lot more than what you should.
What about drinks?
Coffee?
Oh my God, we're both coffee lovers. I love coffee. By the way, I used to drink 4 to 5 cups when I was still in the Philippines.
Yeah.
But then after suffering from pancreatitis.
Oh goodness.
I was told by the doctor to cut down on coffee. So, for a time there, I stopped drinking coffee. But nowadays, I went back to drinking, but just a cup or
minimum,
two.
Right?
Yeah,
okay.
A cup or two.
I have cut down the amount of coffee I'm drinking, because there has to be a limit, because it dehydrates you.
Yeah, I know.
And I tend to aim to drink much more water than I do coffee. But I love coffee. I love the taste,
the smell.
I drink it black. I don't
coffee.
want black coffee, no milk, no sugar.
No.
I need
sugar.
I will occasionally have a bit of sugar, but if I go to a cafe, I might get a special coffee. One of those.
I love
coffees for children. But honestly, black. I got used to drinking black coffee with no sugar. And you know what? You don't spoil for me, if I add sugar, I've spoiled the taste.
Oh, really?
And if I add milk, I've diluted the taste.
Oh.
And I just think, no, pure. I mean,
I know all its purity.
You're looking at me like I'm I'm in trouble.
I don't know.
You think I'm mad? Yeah. I guess but it wasn't. I mean, in the past, it was a gradual progression. Because in the past, I would have drank coffee with milk and frothy milk and sugar and lattes and all those things. But gradually, I mean, my taste has changed.
You're getting old.
I used to drink.
You're just getting old.
Thank you. I used to drink coffee from, the instant coffee that you take out of a jar, and water and milk and sugar and everything. And then I cut out sugar, and then I cut out the milk simply because I was too lazy to buy milk every day, and I ended up gradually getting to filter coffee, pure, black, no milk, no sugar.
And that's how you ended up with black coffee. Now, what is the most popular food in your native country?
If we're talking traditional, it would be soup, vegetable soup, or stew, beef stew generally. And also fast food, it would be fish and chips.
Of course.
Which I know you've heard of.
Stereotypically British.
I've already mentioned roast chicken or roast beef.
Right.
With roast potatoes. So we roast everything in the oven. A little bit of oil over the potatoes, roast them. The roast chicken covered in foil. And maybe some peas or carrots or even broccoli with that.
Yeah, broccoli.
And some gravy. So... What about you?
You got me at broccoli. Well, in my country, we have several, but I'm just going to mention two of them. One of them is called bulalo. It's made by cooking beef shanks and marrow bones until the collagen and fat has melted into the clear broth.
Sounds good.
The other one is adobo, which interestingly is Spanish. It means marinade. Adobo can be, you can use chicken or pork. It's marinated in a mixture of soy sauce and vinegar. So those are the two most popular.
And do you enjoy them?
Of course. And I do miss them.
Yeah.
Well, having stayed here in Russia for almost a year now, I can't help but feel, I want to cry every time I see
Can't you get a fast food?
No.
A takeout? Get them to deliver? No.
I wish I could.
What's your favorite type of restaurant, young man? I'm going to call you young man again.
Yeah,
you called me old. You called me old earlier.
So, well, Dedushka, my favorite.
Thanks.
Type of restaurant.
Deutsche,
Mostly Asian, inspired restaurants.
Right.
I want an Asian themed restaurant.
Right.
And with that said, of course.
Do you like spicy?
Yeah, I do.
Right. You and I both, young man.
I have to say, specifically though, I love Korean restaurants.
Really? Wow.
Eat all you can restaurants.
Oh no! Since that Chinese experience I mentioned earlier, eat all you can eat. I've gone off the idea, but I don't think I've actually eaten. Well, that's not true. I have eaten Korean food. I was with a group of Korean people. There's a church here actually, and I was invited to eat with them. And they have I can't quite remember the name, but they have an interesting soup with cabbage, and it's quite spicy. And I had some of that and some other things.
Did you like it?
I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it.
Okay.
Maybe more so because I'm not a lover of cabbage per se, but it was spicy, and I enjoyed it. Yeah.
What about you? What's your favorite type of restaurant?
Back in Northern Ireland, my younger brother and I often went to a Chinese restaurant. Often, I mean every week.
You do love Chinese food.
Yes, mostly because it's spicy. And traditional Northern Irish food is not. So it's not to say you can't get spicy food anywhere else, but I enjoyed the spicy sauces and stuff, and the rice and everything. It's quite different from what I would normally eat during the week. So at the weekend, on a Saturday evening, my brother and I used to go without fail every Saturday, go to the Chinese.
Well, Chinese, not just Chinese. I'd like to believe, or I'd like to think that Asian food is healthier compared to other kinds of food.
The Northern Irish version of Chinese is probably not.
Oh, okay.
It's probably not. Here, my wife and I have a few times went to New Mexico, and we enjoy Mexican food. Again, it's spicy, although you don't have to go spicy, right? But again, it's spicy, and it's got those beans I love here.
Oh my God, your favorite. Now, do you have any special fasts or dietary restrictions in your culture?
Not so long ago, I actually spoke in the speaking club in Big Apple School about Easter. We talked about Easter, and for some people, Easter is preceded by a fast.
You mean the Holy Week?
But there's a 40-day fast.
Oh, okay.
And it's called in Russian something like post. I'm sorry for my pronunciation. In English, it's called Lent.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to tell you is it's popular in Northern Ireland, but I don't do it.
We do have the same, tradition. So for 40 days, it's not. I have to say though that we don't strictly follow it, but what we do is that we try to avoid meat. At least.
Right. And some people in Northern Ireland will mark this special religious time preceding to the death of Jesus. They will mark it by not eating chocolate or cutting out just something. Because I don't know how it works in Russia, but people don't just stop eating for 40 days, right? So they cut out the bad stuff, of course. I guess that's logical for people, and so they don't eat. Maybe they'll cut out crisps and chocolate, or maybe they'll cut out meat or something like that. So, or maybe they'll cut out alcohol if they're an alcohol drinker. So,
including alcohol.
Right.
I don't think it works. For you.
It's I'm not as a rule drinking alcohol very, very occasionally, and so it's never been a tradition in my family. Although we mark Easter, we celebrate that as a resurrection of Jesus, but we don't actually. It's strange. I guess people might think that's weird, but we don't do all the other things connected with it. We just eat the chocolate eggs and go to church, and that's it. I was telling them I could eat 5 or 6 chocolate eggs when I was a boy.
Oh my God! Yeah. You're obsessed.
It had to be done.
All right.
Do people generally eat too much?
In my country?
In your country?
Well, I don't think so because, if you go to the Philippines, and I think for most Asian countries, you don't see a lot of overweight people. However, we are obsessed with rice. And believe it or not, if you go to restaurants or fast food chains, in my country at least, we have unlimited rice.
Unlimited?
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know.
Is that
There's
bad?
just something. I love rice for one, but the thing here is that we are rice lovers, if I can call it like that.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
But when it comes to overeating, I don't think so, because I think that's the thing about Asian people. We're not the fatty kind of people.
Okay.
We don't
Do you think
really
it's genetic?
Suffer.
Or is it cultural? Or maybe both?
Well, probably. But the thing is, if you go to Asia, especially at least in my country, you would rarely see somebody who's overweight. Most of us are slim, young looking, like me.
Yes, like you.
But no, I don't think we have this problem at all. Which I don't think in your country,
in the UK,
you have the same thing. No, I don't think so.
In the UK, it is a problem.
Yeah, I know.
It is a big problem.
Yeah.
And people's health is suffering. And I think it's true for all of the Western world, that people generally eating too much McDonald's or other fast foods, not necessarily American, but other fast foods are available, and chocolate and stuff. So it is a problem. Do you believe in the phrase, everything in moderation?
Absolutely.
Have you heard this? Is it popular?
Of course.
In the Philippines?
It doesn't only apply to food though. Everything in moderation. Of course, anything that's extreme can absolutely ruin your life, whatever it is, any part or aspect of your life. So it doesn't only apply to food, but any aspect in your life.
Everything in moderation, a little bit of chocolate, but you need to know when to stop.
Yeah. But
and that's
the thing is, you just have to enjoy life. You have to get a taste of a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I mean, of course, a little bit of everything, not a little bit of something that's going to really harm you, but a little bit of chocolate is actually not. And if it's very dark chocolate, but my problem might be that a little bit too much.
So you
knowing
need
when
some
to quit.
Control there.
A little bit. I do control, but not always, not enough. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life,
that'll be...
What would it be?
Dark chocolate.
One type of food. One type of food. So maybe we can go like a specific type of cuisine.
Steak.
Steak?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I was going to go for like Mexican food. So then I can... Because I think there's enough of a variety there, and I can maybe avoid having too much of the more unhealthy stuff and stick to the beans if I'm, for breakfast,
Here
for
we
example.
go again with beans. All right, now.
The toilet will thank me. So,
I guess that's a wrap.
What would you go? No. What type of food would you?
I've already told you. I told you steak.
Steak?
Yeah,
sure, only steak.
Yes.
Steak for breakfast, steak for lunch, steak for dinner.
I can live. I could live with that.
Could your veins and your... Okay, fair enough. So that was the crack about food. We talked about the fact that we both eat.
Yes.
Makes us perfect for podcasts. We talked about what we enjoy. We talked a lot about all kinds of our different favorite foods.
Including the type of restaurant.
And the type of restaurant. We talked about what's popular in our own countries. And about problems, at least in the UK and the West, regarding food. Everything in moderation.
Yes.
And that was the crack about food.